in Mass Effect. And it is now time at 8 o'clock to introduce Bob Chipman.
Oh, Cam, do we want to remind them how they get the Citadel plate?
Oh, yeah, we should probably do that.
Yeah. So at any time between 8 and 9.
Yes, 8 and 9.
8 and 9, that's right.
It's a 777 challenge.
Okay.
That's right. So
Yes.
donate $7.77 anytime between 8 and 9, and you will have a chance to win that awesome plate. And for multiple donations, you get multiple entries.
Any multiple
Okay.
of 777. Okay, actually, Jared, do you want to introduce Bob?
Sure, absolutely. So, yeah, and now, Skyping in from the internet is the one and only MovieBob.
Yay!
Okay, try now.
Hello, Bob.
Hey!
Hey, how's it going?
All right, you guys reading me?
Yeah.
Can hear ya.
We're hearing you.
I'm trying to see you.
Are you?
Oh.
Are we reading your audio novel, possibly?
So, is my face coming
There you
through?
go.
Or?
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay,
Aha.
cool.
All right.
I am on your TV.
You are here with us, almost like you were in
Nice.
the room.
Captain, on screen.
So how's it going?
It's going good. It's going good. How's it going on your end?
We've been driving a bus. It has been pretty mundane on the road, but the room has been very excited. A lot of interesting
I
things
have
have
seen.
happened.
I heard you guys broke one of your records.
We did.
Sweet.
We got 1 million.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. Of lifetime from doing this for 6 years. So.
Nice.
So yeah, we're super happy. I
Yeah,
mean, we've been having a
super
really good
happy.
time. Crazy things have been happening as per usual. Sometimes trending into the surreal, and and now we get to talk to the one and only Bob Chipman. So we we're flattered by that too.
Excellent.
For those of us, those in the chat and whatnot who might be watching at home, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Bob Chipman. I'm known mostly online as either MovieBob or the Game OverThinker. I'm the creator of the Game OverThinker series, and I host Escape to the Movies and the Big Picture on escapistmagazine.com.
Sweet. And so yeah, and you do a lot of, I guess, you do your movie reviews, which are awesome, and also basically the other two series are sort of almost verbal essays on various topics in gaming, and
Yeah. Oh no, go ahead.
and in the case of the Big Picture, I guess other things as well.
Yeah, the Big Picture is pretty much everything but gaming. Sometimes gaming, but there's so many game shows on The Escapist. I tend to do. It's like, I'm going to do a comic book thing today. Today's going to be history. Today's going to be about mac and cheese, stuff like that. I should do that. I should do a mac and cheese episode. That'll be
Should. No one ever see that coming.
I have pitched a cooking show a couple times, but I've always backed off from it just a little bit because I wonder about the logistics.
Like a cooking show
Like-
as part of that show, or a cooking show as a
Very
separate thing.
I would do it as a separate thing, but I worry about overworking myself. I have 5 shows now.
Fair enough. So, as per what usually happens with these, we've got people have posted to our blog post about you,
Yay!
and have got all sorts of questions for you.
And I've got something for you guys. I want to help out with this driver challenge here.
Awesome.
The Bill's 777 driver challenge. If you guys hit your goal, I see. What's the number at right now? What's the total donations at?
We're at
227.
227,771.
Okay, if I can see that get up to 229 by the time my call's done, I will announce for you and your viewers a secret that almost no one else knows yet about a project I've got cooking.
Ooh.
And the best way to get it up there is to donate it to the driver challenge.
Awesome.
Well, it seems like a win-win situation.
I hope so.
Yeah. So, do you mind if I get some of these questions from our blog here?
Do it.
All right. So, fairly basic question: what made you want to become a film critic?
I really liked movies and found out while reading up on criticism and writing about it that I thought I was actually pretty decent at reviewing, critiquing movies, and that it was a good way to learn about them, and it's a good way to pay off some of my film degree, which was doing jack for me until then.
Fair enough. Do you have any folks who like really inspired you when you were looking at that? I know that there's a long history of film criticism.
Oh gosh. Well, I was growing up in the 80s, which is the first point at which film critics kind of became like mainstream pop culture fixtures, when you had Siskel and Ebert and Gene Shalit and people showing up. And, that's probably where I first, found out that was a job that people had, which kind of seemed like nonsense at the time. But now I'm like, really? They just get on there and tell you if the movie's good or not, and for this they pay them. Okay. But, like looking back, there's guys like Manny Farber, of course, Pauline Kael, Andrew Sarris. There's that whole generation of film critics become filmmakers, like, Francois Truffaut, Jean-Luc Godard, the guys from Cahiers du Cinéma. That, of course, is a big inspiration to everyone who starts out as a film critic and really, really would rather be actually making stuff. And so we'll see where that goes.
Yeah. Interesting. There's someone here who wants to know, basically, if you were to adapt currently existing, or if you were to want adapted a currently existing video game to a film, or vice versa, what would be your choice?
I should try to think of something more interesting, but I think you can do a Super Mario Brothers movie, and I would like to do it. I would take that job in a minute.
So
it has. I know everyone says, "Oh, they made the first one. It was terrible," and that proves they shouldn't do it. No. I think that's completely doable.
Badly.
And I would jump at that.
So
I would jump all over that.
You would not have a like post-apocalyptic vision for it that would then pass through 7 other writers' hands and become some sort of very bizarre gestalt.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't think we'd be doing that. I think it's completely doable if you can make every other fantasy series type thing into a movie. If you can make that it was awful but it looked great, that Alice in Wonderland movie from the Tim Burton piece of crap. The new Wizard of Oz one that looks a lot better. If you can get those on screen, you can get the Mushroom Kingdom on screen. It can't be that hard.
Fair enough. Is there a movie that you love but that everyone else hates? Some sort of a black sheep that you just can't get enough of secretly?
Well, I think Sucker Punch recently landed there in a lot of ways. I think Speed Racer is a movie that
Really?
I think Speed Racer was awesome, and I know many people hated that movie. I thought it was terrific. I think it's like some real bleeding edge stuff. And I think that, in 20 or 30 years, Speed Racer will look to people 20 or 30 years from now like a movie that just came out. I think that the Wachowskis aren't nuts. They're just way ahead of the curve.
Fair enough. So on recent developments, thoughts about Disney and Star Wars?
I think it's terrific. I couldn't be happier with how that went down. Symbolically it's weird because you have the idea that, Lucasfilm was supposed to be this, super independent thing back in the 70s when he thought it up, and now it's, owned by the Disney empire. But this is the best turn of events that really could have happened, because there were going to be more Star Wars stuff no matter what. It's just too profitable. Now it's in the hands of maybe a company that doesn't, own it in the way that George Lucas did, and, maybe they won't feel too weird about giving it to people who are still good at making things.
Yeah, exactly.
To, write it and direct it and whatnot. And I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be awesome.
Me too.
Nice.
Hope so.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite Marvel Universe flick? Just on with regard to Disney movies. Favorite Marvel Universe movie so far?
I think Captain America is the best one so far.
Gotcha. Interesting.
I
know a lot
think
of
it
people
holds, other than the Avengers, of course.
Yeah.
But I think Captain America was the best of the solo movies.
I know a lot of people have pooped on that movie recently as well, so it's interesting to hear.
Right? The Avengers or the other one?
No, Captain America.
Yeah, I don't really like it started out awesome and then it kind of petered for me personally. His character was amazing.
Yeah, sweet. I'm just looking at our total right now, actually, and noticing that we've hit 228, but we're still not quite at 229. So I don't know, guys. There is still this amazing 777 challenge going on. for this amazing Citadel plate. Bob, you fan of Mass Effect at all?
I have played some Mass Effect. I have not had time to play through it enough to call myself a fan. I'm up on the mythos and the controversy and everything that went down through it. But I like what I know of it. Yes.
Nice. Well, I mean, yeah. So this is still going on, and we have it from Bob that if we hit 229, we could hear a pretty impressive secret from him. But I don't know, like it's not happened yet. So I'm a little worried. What do you think, Cam?
I think we can do better than this, chat.
Go chat.
Woo! The conversation is scintillating. I think you should support this.
These are all such nice questions. Find an abusive one.
Oh man.
Really?
Okay, give me a second to find an abusive question.
Right.
Well, only if there is one. If people are actually behaving themselves, by all means, that's good news.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone from the room have anything they would like to ask Monsieur MovieBob?
Did I just about a movie? What did you think of the movie Drive? I thought that was interesting.
I really liked Drive.
Yeah, me too.
I
The music.
I thought I understand why some people did.
Don't,
It's
exactly.
different than it looked like it was.
Exactly.
But it's really bizarre. I think it's a perfect use of Ryan Gosling.
Yeah,
who can
me
be
too. The best
really
Ryan Gosling I've ever
not
seen.
good in things.
Yeah, in specific
But
that one.
I thought it was pretty terrific. I love Albert Brooks as a villain is awesome.
Yeah.
I got a question. Hey Bob, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Good. I was upstairs doing important, serious business. Hey, I love Schlocktober. I don't know if any questions about Schlocktober have been asked yet.
Oh, thank you so much, man. I work hard on that, and I really appreciate hearing it.
Oh, thanks. But what didn't quite make the cut this year? Well, like what's a movie that would fit into Schlocktober that you think people ought to know about, but you didn't get to this year?
This year, I cut out. I was going to use as one of them Dragon Wars. And it was mainly, which I thought was just like it's a perfect movie for it, but it might be a little too recent, and B, I actually rediscovered my my DVD of Attack of the Super Monsters, which I had forgotten that I actually had that on disc, and I sort of figured, well, God, this has to get in there because I don't know, for people who've seen the episode, it was probably like the most memorable one this year.
Oh yeah.
It was this year's Night of the Lepus.
My favorite thing about Dragon Wars is that all the appropriate scenes are there. Like there's the little kid with the prophecy, and then him finding out when he gets older, and the bit where the guy and the girl meet, and the bit where the guy and the girl fall in love, and all the right scenes are there. And the movie is just like checking the boxes as efficiently as it can. It's just like this scene, this scene, this scene, this scene. Good. Keep it rolling, and credits. Awesome job, everyone. Good movie. Like it's just it's jarring how all the right sort of pieces are almost there, but it's so awful.
Yeah, it feels like a Xerox of something else. It's like there's it's like when they show in like those body snatcher movies when someone shows up and it's like it looks like Steve, but it's not Steve. It's like this looks like a good movie, but it's not.
Yeah,
it's a strange feeling.
It was very strange.
There's someone in the chat wants to give you a challenge. I don't know how open you are to this.
Let's hear it.
They basically want you to expound the virtues of Michael Bay for a solid minute.
No.
Only a minute?
That's what they're asking for.
Yeah, can someone drive while I plug my ears?
Can someone drive while I plug my ears? Virtues of Michael Bay as a filmmaker or virtues of Michael Bay as a person?
It's not really defined. I would be inclined to say as a filmmaker.
I can't.
Well, I can hit both. I think as a filmmaker, there are things I don't like about Michael Bay's movies, especially his Transformers movies. His Transformers movies are terrible. But, he's made at least two movies that I really like, are the two Bad Boys movies. He has a kind of, really like bad taste, whatever, F the world sensibility in those that really go with them. I'm not nuts about the way he tends to cut and edit. I think it's a little too much. But I do like the way that he sort of solved earlier on in his career the problem of, attention deficit among, modern audiences and how to still get long takes out of that, which he doesn't do anymore, which is just to constantly be slightly moving the camera. So even though it's a static shot, it doesn't look like a static shot. He's really embraced digital color grading, which, yes, has kind of led to like the awful orange and teal thing in the Transformers movies. But you go back and look at the Bad Boys movies, he makes Miami looking like Miami feel like Miami. And that is not easy to do because things like weather and heat and such don't really show up on film unless you're good with digital color grading, and he's good at that. And I think he's got a good sensibility for that. I think the next movie he's going to do, Pain and Gain, with Mark Wahlberg and The Rock, it's a true story about two bodybuilders steroided up out of their minds who tried to become drug dealers. Sounds like a riot. And looks terrific. That's why he's doing Transformers 4, so they'd pay him to make that movie because he doesn't think anyone is going to pay for that. Also, he does a lot for animal charities, and I think that's super.
Sweet.
Was that a minute, or do I
a minute and
keep
30
going?
seconds.
Okay, cool.
But there was
All right.
probably about 30 seconds of I'm not crazy about X, but Y. So I think that we got a minute out of that.
The first half of The Island was also pretty good. It had good stuff from Scarlett Johansson and Ewan McGregor in there, and I liked the Indian guy who played the president and the clone guy. And Steve Buscemi was in it, and it's always nice to see him.
I think the best part about The Island, though, was that when Ewan McGregor meets real Ewan McGregor has his actual accent.
Yeah.
Almost as if it's actually Ewan McGregor.
Right. See, that would have been a better movie if it was actually that would have been a much more meta way to go about this, is for them to get out and find out that they were clones of Scarlett Johansson and Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
That would have been ballsy. That would have made the whole bad second half of that movie worth it.
Bless you.
All right. Well, so we're at 228,700, so we're almost at a high enough point for that big secret, but I don't know.
Rolling in, Jim.
If you got more questions, I'll take more questions. It's
Well-
11 o'clock here. I have nothing to do.
Fair enough. I'm just trying to, give our viewers a little bit of a push here, because, we're going to have to cut this interview off at some point, and if we haven't got that level, then we might just have to ask for a slightly less good secret.
Okay.
All right.
I can do that. I am a man of many secrets.
Okay. Well, that
Terrible,
is
terrible secrets.
that is something. A couple of questions just asking about questions or advice for new screenwriters or film students like yourself. Now, it sounds like your comment about the usefulness of your degree earlier makes things look pretty down. Got anything?
Yeah, I might have undersold it a little bit, but it wasn't hooking me up right then. But then again, I got a film degree in the late 2000s, well, in the early 2000s, just as the whole, oh my God, everyone's going to be the next Quentin Tarantino thing sort of hit the wall among young filmmakers. So there's an expectations game.
Fair enough. But do you have any? So, what kind of advice would you give someone just starting out?
Well, learn another trade while you're at it.
Yeah.
I would say that one, like learn how to fix air conditioners or something, because you just never know. Watch as many movies as you can, especially ones that don't sound like something you would usually watch. Read screenplays. A lot of people miss this one when they say, well, I want to be a screenwriter. It's not enough to see movies with good scripts. Find movies you like, get their scripts, read them, and see what that looked like. See what that part you liked looked like on the page as they were trying to get it. That's that I would say that's good advice. And learn up on all other parts of the craft. Learn to act, learn to write. Learn what camera placement and cinematography is, so that maybe if you want to do stuff on your own, it's just easier.
Is there anything, like, if you were to name a movie in the last year or so that came out that you would say, if you are a new filmmaker and you want to see something that is really, like, on the bleeding edge, look at this, what would you recommend?
Cloud Atlas.
Excellent.
I try.
That was definitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very decisive.
I do what I can.
The chat is $39 away from hitting your goal here.
Woo! People.
Go ahead, Kim.
Actually, I have a question.
Go for it.
You've said that you really like the Wachowskis, and as a
I
film
do.
critic, what do you think of the relationship of, like, criticism to the actual craft of filmmaking, because the Wachowskis are very aware of the critical field and the theory around like storytelling and literature.
Yeah, they are some well-read people. I think the relationship between critics and filmmakers has changed a little bit in very recent times, because now you get it in real time. Film, and you get it in real time while you're making the movie. It's not just, well, we're making this movie, maybe there's a trailer, then it comes out, and then on Monday you find out what the critics thought of it. Now it's, a year in advance people are talking about, the production of The Hobbit. Not only are they, criticizing or saying that they like things that have happened, things that have not happened, but also, we have all this information about the other version that Guillermo del Toro almost made. I really do think that I don't think it's a good idea now for filmmakers to disengage from criticism. I know a lot of them do, and they say, well, I don't read reviews and whatnot. I can't imagine working like that, because, you have to learn what to discount, and the internet is very helpful with that, because you can see, very easily just pull up, who this writer is, and here's what they've said before, and okay, yeah, this is someone I don't need to listen to. But feedback is important, and now that there's so much of it, you don't even need the awful test screening process anymore, where they would show half-finished movies to audiences and then tell them, well, what did you think of this? Mark it down on the card, and you never knew where your sample was coming from. Now you're just hearing it from everyone, and I think it's very helpful. I mean, yeah, I mentioned Captain America earlier. Chris Evans got that role because Marvel floated a rumor that said, we're thinking about Chris Evans, and the internet went, yes, and they said, oh, well, then we should go with that guy. I don't think if 10 years ago, 5 years ago, Joss Whedon wouldn't have directed The Avengers, because the studio mentality would have been, well, okay, none of his movies have really opened very big. He's a TV guy and has, why do we care? But, then you put in, hey, what if Joss Whedon directed The Avengers into the internet, and the critical press and the online press and everyone lose their damn minds? Then now he gets to direct that movie, and that worked out pretty well, in my opinion.
Fair enough.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Just a quick question. We are now past the secret threshold.
You guys rock.
So, yeah, well, these guys rock. The people out there who are donating all this money are fantastic. Now, of course, we know that they are also double dipping and getting a chance at the Citadel plate too, which is fantastic. One more question before we ask for your secret, though.
Yeah, sure.
Film journalism and games journalism. How do you see them as the same? How do you see them as different? What kind of spectrum is there?
Well, it's a time thing with film criticism and game criticism and games journalism, and I'm going to be real careful here, because I have a lot of not wonderful things to say about where games journalism is at, but I also have a lot of friends who are games journalists and games writers, and I want it understood that I exempt them from anything that I have to say about that, because I know a lot of people who do great work in this business. Games journalism right now is much too access-driven. Unfortunately, there's basically the audience for games journalism wants to hear about, numbered reviews for brand new games, and that's it. And there's not enough of a market in it for, in-depth criticism years later of a game, or, sociological criticism. When someone says, oh, I'm going to do a feminist critique of games, people lose their minds at the idea that there's going to be a feminist critique of games. It's like, no, just give me the score and tell me how it's going to affect my gamer tag and this business. And film journalism was there for a while, where the studios just ran everything, and the only outlets were Entertainment Weekly, and if you wanted to report on a movie, it was in the context of a review or a celebrity interview, and you will review it when we say to review it. You will get your access when we say you get your access, and that's it. And now, you have the studios kind of have to answer to the film press. When Green Lantern, the first shots of his terrible costume came out and everyone hated it, they immediately went running to the blogs saying, no, wait, we're going to do something different. They really ultimately didn't, but they cared that there was a bit of outrage there. Games journalism doesn't really get to run the table on the games companies yet. So I think that would be the main difference, is it's a power structure. There's a much more closer equilibrium between the people covering movies and the movie business, whereas in games journalism, it feels like the game companies have all the power and they know it, and they're kind of dicks about it.
Fair enough.
And that's unfortunate. But I do think that games journalism, there are a lot of people and movements within it that are feeling similar to sites like Ain't It Cool News and Dark Horizons and Corona Coming Attractions that really turned everything around for film journalism. You remember when the movie Batman and Robin came out, Warner Brothers ultimately blamed the failing of that movie at the box office on Harry Knowles at Ain't It Cool News posting script pages and shots from the costumes and telling everyone how bad it was going to be before it came out. That revolutionized, whether that was actually the cause or not, revolutionized the relationship between studios and films journalism, and it really hasn't been the same since, and it's better for it. Games journalism will get there, and we'll see it like right in front of us in real time. I hope.
Interesting. Okay, we are going to ask you for your amazing $229,000 secret.
All right. The secret is that I have 5 shows, I have 2 blogs, and coming soon there will be a MovieBob and/or Game OverThinker book.
Ooh.
The book is being written. No deals have been signed because I might just self-publish. But the book is being written. I can tell you it is a book of game criticism. And it's a book of academic game criticism, and I can't wait to share it with the world. It's I want to change the dynamic of game criticism a little bit, add a new sort of genre to it. So I'm going to write a book of games criticism, an entire book about one game, the entirety of one classic game, and level by level, play through, go through every little piece, bit by bit. It'll be a ultra comprehensive book of game critique.
Wow.
And that is the plan.
Wow.
And the game is obviously Superman 64.
That would be hilarious, but I wanted to do a good one first. I'll reveal it. The game's going to be Super Mario Brothers 3.
Nice.
That's my plan. So
Classic.
that's my plan. That's what I'm going to do. We'll see if anyone wants to publish it. If not, I'll put it out. But one way or another, that is my plan. And that's what I'm going to completely unauthorized. Haven't talked to Nintendo. They're obviously not going to authorize because they never authorize anything. But if you can do an unauthorized strategy guide, you can do an unauthorized big block of text about the game.
Well, I mean, as an English student who is commonly asked to review pieces of literature that are several hundred years old, I think that's super awesome for video games, and I think we can all say that that's a super cool project for game
thank
criticism.
you. I hope everyone feels they got their money's worth.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Great. Well, we should probably wrap this up, but thank you so much, Bob, for calling us and talking to us for a bit and wishing us well.
Sure thing.
Okay, one more quick question.
Sure.
What's your favorite aspect ratio?
Ooh, wow. Wow. I am bad with remembering the exact numbers for things. I like standard theatrical format. The too wide or the too short doesn't work for me. I saw The Master in its, big blown up aspect ratio. I applaud his effort. I'm not sure the movie really needed that. IMAX is nice for action movies, but I don't feel like they put Paranormal Activity 4 in IMAX. Why? I don't really understand what the point with that was, but I do think the standard version of that is it's the one that works the best for the most part, unless you're doing like that super high def, ultra wide
Super CinemaScope.
That thing, yeah. CinemaScope was another thing. CinemaScope was the big wraparound theater. They don't even do that anymore. I mean, if they did, they couldn't get it onto DVD. When you watch the CinemaScope movies on TV, there's like a seam running down the middle where they would have had to divide the film prints, which, was okay in a theater because there were these 2 giant wrapped around screens. But I'm a standard aspect ratio guy. Standard widescreen, I should say.
Fair enough. If the chat is any indication, it sounds like people are super excited for your book already.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Well, I'm mainly glad it was able to help you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you guys are doing awesome things here, and I thought, maybe I should try announcing that. Maybe that would generate some stuff. So that's I'm glad that I'm glad.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully, yeah, we get a bunch of headlines that are MovieBob announces Super Mario Brothers 3 book on Desert Bus.
That's right.
And also loves Speed Racer.
Yeah. Well, I think people know that. I've been pretty vocal about liking Speed Racer before. I hope so, but it's one of those things that like divides critics. You know, it's like Speed Racer. Half of us go brilliant, and the other half go you're insane.
Great. Well, thanks so much for joining us, and
thank you guys.
Yeah, and we look forward to hearing from you again.
Oh, awesome! Keep on going, guys. People keep calling in and donating. This is a great charity. You need to get behind it.
Appreciate the support. Thank you, man.
Thanks so much. Great.
All right.
Thanks so much.
Bye, Bob.
Bye.